Welcome to World Alert Updates. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. The news ticker flashes urgently. China-Philippines tensions erupt over a controversial Taiwan Pact. Headlines scroll across screens worldwide, capturing the attention of millions as the world braces for what could come next. The Indo-Pacific holds its breath, the vast blue expanse suddenly feeling smaller, more fragile, as uncertainty ripples across the water. The South China Sea is alive with the hum of warships and the roar of fighter jets. This is no routine standoff but a high-stakes contest where every maneuver is scrutinized by the world. Years of simmering disputes have finally boiled over, drawing in global powers and threatening to reshape Asia's future. The region has become a chessboard, with every move carrying consequences far beyond its shores. China asserts sweeping claims over these waters, undeterred by international law or diplomatic protests. Its warships cut through the waves, a show of force and resolve. The Philippines, backed by the United States and other allies, pushes back, defending its sovereignty, its people, and the vital sea lanes that connect economies and livelihoods across the globe. This isn't just about diplomats and politicians, it's about soldiers, sailors, and pilots preparing for a conflict everyone hopes to avoid. On bases and ships, men and women steel themselves for the unknown, their families waiting anxiously at home. Every press conference becomes a battle of narratives, with officials trading accusations and reassurances. Every patrol at sea is a test of resolve, a delicate dance where a single misstep could spark disaster. The Philippines, once seen as a minor player, is now the epicenter of global attention. Its alliances, decisions, and actions watched and analyzed by governments and citizens worldwide. Daily reports of near collisions, aggressive maneuvers, and military buildups reveal a pattern of escalation. The risk of miscalculation grows with every tense encounter as both sides dig in. For those living and working in the region, fishermen, traders, families, this is a daily reality, not an abstract issue debated in distant capitals. Their livelihoods and safety hang in the balance, shaped by forces beyond their control. The world watches and wonders, can diplomacy prevail in the face of rising tensions, or will the drums of war grow louder, drowning out the voices calling for peace? The stakes have never been higher. The future of the Indo-Pacific, and perhaps the world, hangs in the balance as a region on edge waits for what comes next. Balikatan 2025 isn't just another drill. It marks a pivotal turning point in the region's security landscape. This year's exercise is more than a show of force. It's a clear demonstration of unity and resolve among allies facing new and evolving threats. With a record-breaking 18,000 troops participating, this is the largest Balikatan ever held. These forces are not just preparing for counterterrorism or small-scale skirmishes. Instead, they are training for high-end warfighting, preparing for the possibility of conflict with a state adversary, a scenario that demands advanced tactics, coordination, and technology. For the first time, Australia, Japan, and France have joined the exercise, expanding the coalition and sending a powerful message of international solidarity. Their participation highlights a growing network of partners committed to upholding peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific. The message to Beijing is unmistakable. The Philippines stands strong, backed by a coalition of allies. It is no longer isolated in its defense, it is part of a united front. The drills now feature live-fire naval exercises, advanced air and missile defense operations, and cutting-edge cyber warfare training. These are not just theoretical scenarios, they are practiced in the very waters that are hotly contested, near Taiwan and throughout the South China Sea, where tensions run high. This represents a strategic pivot from alliances that exist only on paper to real, tangible cooperation on the ground and at sea. The participating nations are building trust, sharing intelligence, and learning to operate as a single unified force. The ultimate goal is seamless interoperability. If the Mutual Defense Treaty is ever invoked, US and Filipino forces, along with their partners, will be ready to fight as one, coordinated, efficient, and formidable. President Marcos Jr. has worked tirelessly to secure Washington's ironclad commitment, ensuring that the alliance is not just a diplomatic promise, but a practical guarantee of support in times of crisis. The alliance is no longer symbolic. It has evolved into a living, breathing military partnership, tested and strengthened through real-world operations and joint missions. As military activity intensifies, the entire region is on alert. The world's eyes are fixed on the Asia-Pacific, watching closely as these alliances reshape the balance of power. The stakes have never been higher, and the preparations are more serious than ever before. Every drill, every maneuver is a step toward ensuring peace through strength and unity. Balikatan 2025 is a showcase of cutting-edge military power. US F-22 Raptors and Philippine FA-50S fly side by side, while Aegis-equipped destroyers patrol the seas, simulating missile defense against China's rocket forces. The U.S. Army's Typhoon missile system, capable of striking ships and land targets hundreds of miles away, is deployed on Philippine soil, a game-changer. The Philippines debuts its BrahMos supersonic missiles, training to target hostile warships and bolster coastal defense. Integrated deterrence is the new doctrine, fusing intelligence from satellites, drones, and sensors to create a unified operational picture. Cyber defense and counter-disinformation are now as critical as missiles and ships. The alliance aims for a credible self-defense posture with the U.S. as a powerful backstop. Modern conflict is fought with both firepower and information. The locations of Balikatan 2025 are chosen for maximum strategic impact. In Batanes, just 200 kilometers from Taiwan, U.S. and Philippine forces practice controlling the Bashi Channel, a key route for Chinese naval movement. In Palawan, near the disputed Spratly Islands, drills focus on retaking captured islands and defending the exclusive economic zone. The South China Sea sees complex naval exercises, including live-fire drills to assert freedom of navigation and challenge China's claims. These operations turn the Philippine archipelago into a defensive perimeter, Batanes as the northern bastion, Palawan as the western shield. The message to Beijing aggression will be met with a coordinated, multi-front response. These are not just exercises, they are strategic signals. The Philippines is ready to defend its territory. China has unleashed a wave of condemnation, denouncing the annual Balikatan military exercises as a direct provocation in the region, and sharply accusing the Philippines of acting as a pawn for U.S. interests, undermining regional stability. Chinese officials have issued stern warnings, cautioning that these actions could lead to dire and unpredictable consequences. Beijing claims the drills are not defensive in nature but rather offensive maneuvers designed to threaten China's security, and frames them as part of a broader US-led strategy to encircle and contain China's rise in the Asia-Pacific. In response, Chinese officials have threatened to take all necessary measures to safeguard what they call their core national interests, raising the specter of military escalation and a potential flashpoint in the South China Sea. Yet, Manila stands its ground, responding with calm confidence. Philippine leaders emphasize that Balikatan is about self-defense and regional cooperation, not provocation. President Marcos Jr. firmly insists that these exercises are a sovereign right of the Philippines, and stresses that they are necessary to counter China's growing coercion and assertiveness in the South China Sea, where tensions have steadily escalated. The Philippines points to China's own aggressive actions, the construction of militarized artificial islands, deployment of maritime militia, and recent water cannon attacks on Filipino vessels, as the true source of instability and insecurity in the region, not the defensive drills. The alliance with the United States is presented as a vital force multiplier, enhancing the Philippines' ability to defend itself, and is not, as Beijing claims, a surrender of sovereignty or independence. Manila asserts its right to defend its territory, uphold international law, and protect its people from external threats. The narrative battle between Beijing and Manila is fierce and unrelenting, but the Philippines stands firm, its resolve unshaken in the face of intimidation. The world watches as a determined nation rises to protect its future. The stakes could not be clearer. This is a struggle of sovereignty versus intimidation, and Manila is determined not to back down. The Philippines' security network is expanding beyond the U.S. Japan provides advanced radar and patrol vessels, and a reciprocal access agreement is in the works for joint training. South Korea supplies FA-50 fighter jets and modern warships, boosting the Philippines' maritime capabilities. This trilateral cooperation, encouraged by the U.S., diversifies Manila's support and complicates Beijing's calculations. The message, a threat to one, is a concern for all. Asia's leading democracies are uniting to uphold a free and open Indo-Pacific. For China, this growing coalition is a serious challenge. The region's security architecture is being transformed. The real flashpoints are in the gray zone, where China's Coast Guard and maritime militia harass Philippine vessels just short of open conflict. At 2nd Thomas Shoal, Filipino Marines endure dangerous resupply missions, facing ramming and water cannon attacks. Scarborough Shoal remains blocked by China despite international rulings. Manila documents and publicizes these incidents, exposing China's tactics to the world. China's strategy: establish control without triggering war, keeping confrontations below the US-Philippines defense threshold. But the risk of miscalculation is high. A single incident could spark a wider conflict. The gray zone is now the region's most dangerous frontier. The Philippines' security is now linked to Taiwan's fate. Batanes, just across the Luzon Strait, is a strategic choke point in any Taiwan conflict. Manila increases its military presence and practices defense scenarios, angering Beijing. Quiet consultations with Taiwan focus on shared maritime awareness and crisis response. Over 150,000 Filipinos live in Taiwan. Any conflict would trigger a massive evacuation. This alignment with Taiwan raises the stakes, making the Philippines a likely target if war breaks out. China warns Manila not to play with fire on the Taiwan issue. The Philippines is betting on deterrence, but the risks are immense. The China-Philippines standoff is a test of the rules-based order. At stake, whether international law or raw power governs the seas. The outcome will shape global trade, freedom of navigation, and the sovereignty of smaller nations. The US, Japan, Australia, and others back Manila, creating a polarized, militarized region. Critics warn this could make conflict more likely, not less. The South China Sea is the world's most critical waterway. Any disruption would trigger global economic chaos. The Indo-Pacific stands at a crossroads: confrontation or stability. The world watches, hoping for peace but bracing for the worst. The next moves will define the future of the region and the world.